So for some of us in Africa, thinking feels like it has a bad connotation to it. And that's why they tell you, don't think too much. That's why your BP is high. Don't think too much. That's why your BP is low. Don't think too much. That's why you're having anxiety issues. And that's what we hear every day in Africa and in Nigeria. But the truth is, thinking goes beyond that. Thinking goes deeper into what practically affects our lives, and even before our lives, what affects our decision making that eventually builds up into the outcome of the results that we see both in our lives and in our society. And that's why it's very important that thinking is not just used as an activity, but as a tool also. Now, for many people, thinking is merely an activity, meaning something you just sit down and say, make I think this thing. No, it is practically more of a means to an end. Meaning you cannot make sound judgments if you do not think. You cannot solve problems if you do not think. You cannot make adjustments if you do not think. And that's why we think. Now, my study led me to really go in depth yesterday, to study practically more of what thinking does for us. Now, it says thinking seems so automatic that we rarely stop to analyze what it actually does for us. It feels like a normal everyday life to think, but we don't know that thinking is beyond the consistency. It is more of what it does for us, which means that pardon me, I'm a music person. Music can just flow into my mouth at any time. Which means that thinking should be more of an intentional activity than something we just do as a routine. Of course, it's good to have it as a routine, but it has to start first of all as an intentional activity. So it says, but when we look at it from a cognitive and evolutionary perspective, deliberate thinking, which is intentional thinking, which is also processing information, which is reflecting, which is projecting scenarios, is essentially our ultimate adaptive superpower. That means your ability to think puts you in the realm of a superpower.